Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Decluttr Me, a podcast where we talk about organizing and decluttering your life. Generally, it's me by myself, but today we're bringing an expert on. Hello, Shelina.
Hi, Shrek. Sure, my picture is on the thing profile.
Yeah, but you don't show up to half the episodes, so you know.
What do you mean I don't show up half the episodes?
Sorry,
what? Just because you get some fan mail saying that they like listening to you,
and my British accent,
and your fake British accent reminds me of someone else.
Oh,
No, it's my show. It's me. That sounds so bad. Let's start that again.
no, we're keeping this in so people realize just how far the delusion stands.
What? Oh my god, no. Anyway, hello.
I've clearly ruffled a feather.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I can't believe you're making out like you're the main man for this. Do you know anything about organizing? Did you know anything about organizing before you met me?
Yes. I mean, prove it if I didn't. I mean, let's see you try.
There is that.
Yes. And then if you look at, like you said, if you look at the comment, you know.
Just because of your voice.
I
Anyway.
mean, you know.
Do you want to talk about organizing today?
No, because you're going to take over the show after we get into the Tupperware, so I don't need to really do that. But I did want to ask you.
Yes.
Do you remember there was a time when Tupperware parties were a thing?
I do remember that, yeah. I think my mum used to go to them.
Mm.
And we had a few. They were brown and orange. They always used to be brown and orange, didn't they, in the 80s?
What, the Tupperware?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. I thought you were talking about the people, and I was like, I don't know if we want to do that.
No, we were the only brown ones.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I was like, I don't think you were trying to allude that the Tupperware parties were held only by certain communities. No, I remember, but I remember this is just before I left the US, but it was just starting to pick up as a thing. And I know,
Really? No, it was in the 80s.
No, but it was kind of, there was a period in the 2000s as well where it was starting to become a thing. And I remember that it kind of extended, I know, because around the time I moved back here, and I heard about it here too, which I was like, and it's like, oh, it's a Tupperware party. And I'm like, what now? Like, yeah. So I don't know. I don't remember it lasting very long. It was a long time ago, so I don't really recall.
Yeah, people used to, all the wives, somebody would be a Tupperware rep.
Correct.
And you go to the house.
Oh, they would come to yours. One of the women would organize
their house
as the meeting point, and everybody would come, and then
with cheese and then you'd have food like cheese and pineapple on a stick. It's a British thing, and sausages on a stick. There's lots of things on a stick, and you'd eat that, and they'd have drinks.
Yeah,
and then this woman would talk about Tupperware.
Essentially by Tupperware.
Yeah, and they'd say how useful it is. It's the same thing they do now with Thermomix here, everywhere.
Well, to be fair, it sounds like a fairly effective influencer marketing strategy.
It does work. I mean, because Thermomix that's how that works here.
Yeah.
And everywhere now. That somebody invites them over to demonstrate it to that person who's interested and also to other people. And then you buy it and you get, but it was Thermomix. Avon used to be the same. No, Avon was the catalogue for us. But I think sometimes they had Avon nights. But anyway, we're going to be talking about Tupperware today.
Yes, and not nostalgia.
Yeah. I don't know. Can you buy Tupperware? There must be Tupperware still.
Because you can buy Tupperware. What do you mean?
No, Tupperware, like the brand.
The brand Tupperware? Yeah, I've seen it here.
I haven't seen it.
I mean, it's been a while since I went out and bought any Tupperware, but yeah, I'm sure I've seen the brand here.
Okay. Yeah. So Tupperware. There's lots of choice.
So we don't mean the brand though. We're talking about just the kind of containers.
Food containers.
Yeah, food containers.
They're supposed to be called. So we're talking about food containers, but let's call it Tupperware because we're nostalgic and old, and I'm watching Physical right now on Apple Plus, and it's all 80s, so it's very funny. I love 80s. It's cool. Have you not watched the show yet? No. Physical. Oh my god, you have to watch Physical. It's very good. Rose Byrne is in it, and it's very 80s, full.
Oh, it looks good. It looks well made. I just haven't gotten to watching it.
So yeah, no, it's brilliant. Anyway, so I deal with a lot of Tupperware, as you can tell, most probably because I deal with a lot of kitchens, and it's a hot mess. It always is. If you look at Instagram and Pinterest and other organizers,
it almost sounds like you were making a Thermomix joke in there somewhere. But anyway, It's a hot mess.
It's a hot mess. But you'll see like on, Instagram and Pinterest and all this, like people doing amazing, pretty things with Tupperware or with these food containers. And I'm like, no, let's just deal with the hot mess, get it all sorted out, declutter a lot of stuff and organize it and make it functional and practical, because it's a big thing that people use now, right? And especially nowadays, because we're trying to use less plastic, so and trying to reuse things, and also food prep for a week. Lots of people do food prep, so you need the containers to put in the fridge and the freezer as well. So there are a lot of people have a lot of containers. So and also here, and I'm sure in other countries as well, it's a cultural thing that you make lots of food and then you give it to your families, or if people come over, you give them food to take home with them. So there's a lot of that happens as well. So the food containers are a big aspect of the kitchen, and they're often not given the right amount of space in the home. And also it does become a mess. So I wanted to talk about that and how to deal with Tupperware, or these food containers, as you would say. So what I always do with these things is take them out of the space. Find them for everywhere, because they invariably seem to be in different drawers and different cupboards. Take them all out. And you know me, I'm not a person who says usually to take everything out from one place, but for this thing, take them all out. You need to get all the lids, all the bottoms, from the drawers, from the cupboards, from the back of the cupboards, from the dining room, from the living room, from the kids' room. You'll find lids everywhere.
And also containers. I think like people like eat out of the containers or take the containers to one place, leave the lid behind, and the lid gets washed, but the container doesn't. And then now the two things are out of sync in their washing cycle, and all sorts of things
like
like
kids,
that.
you take a container and use it for Play-Doh,
or something,
and then they just leave it lying around, and you're like, where? Find them all. So even if you don't do it in the same day or the same hour, start collecting them, finding them, put them into a big box or a washing basket or something, and then take them to your dining table or to a coffee table so you can Netflix and organize your Tupperware. You know me, I love watching the Netflix and Tupperware.
It doesn't flow as nicely as
Netflix and Decluttr. But so that's what we're going to do. So then get all the lids. If you can find all the same colors, fine. And then get all the containers and start matching them up. So do that. Match everything together. If there is anything that is missing, if you can't find the lids or you can't find the bottoms, see if you can get a replacement lid. So now with IKEA, I've moved from plastic containers to the glass containers because they're microwavable, they can be put in the fridge and they can be put in the freezer, and they're like really versatile
and reusable as well.
And for our food, if you use plastic, it often ends up smelling of curries, because I put leftover curries into my containers to put in the fridge and the freezer, and they often they often smelt, or if it had too much turmeric, it'd have that stain and it looks horrible after a while. And you don't have that problem with glass containers. And the same with when you're making pasta sauce and stuff as well, they leave a stain in the plastic. So if you get glass containers, they are more eco-friendly and they last for longer as well, and they can be used in more places. So with the IKEA ones, you can get different types of lids to fit on the same container. So if you are missing a lid, you can always go and get a lid again, or you can order it online and do click and collect or whatever. So do that. See if you can do that. So if you have anything that's mismatched, see if you can match them up again. If you can't, put those into the recycling or donate them, or mostly that's it. Just recycle or donate, okay? So that's for the things that are mismatched. Then we have to organize it. So my view is you need to be able to find everything in 5 seconds. You need to be able to deal with it in less than 5 seconds. So for me, I like to keep the container and the lid together and just stack them up in a cupboard. So once you've got everything matched, all the containers together, you can see how much you have and how much space you need in which cupboard, so that you can allocate one cupboard to them, based on what you have. If you can put some if you've got like say big containers which are used for cakes or bread or whatever, you can put multiple containers into that, great. But put the whole set in, so the lid and the container, because you can then easily get it. So you're not rummaging around trying to find the lid and the bottom. So that's how I organize, and I do that with all my clients, and that, you know, you'll be able to see pictures. A lot of people are the advocates of putting all the containers together, but stack
away from the lids, but like stacking the containers and then putting the lids on the side or whatever. Yeah.
And so they'll use lid holders, or there's special or you can use the saucepan holders. There's different holders you can use, and there's like these expensive
but it works towards like, because it saves space, I guess, right? Because when you stack the empty containers one on top of the other, obviously it takes much more space.
Yeah, it does. But then it depends as well. Do you, like, often I find you don't need 50 containers. You only need about 10. You know, if you have a big family,
it's a recurring theme, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the as always with us.
Yeah,
like it is.
You just realize that people buy way too many. Or sometimes the example you were giving, right, where like a lid is missing or whatever, you just go out and buy a container.
Yeah.
Instead of just replacing the lid if you can and
stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, a few years ago, or maybe about 10 years ago in IKEA, you can buy 20 different plastic containers with the lids, the green one. There was orange and there was green and blue. And you didn't use half of those containers because they're the wrong size for things.
Right.
And you had them, and then they're just lying around. So they're just taking up valuable space. So if you don't need various boxes because you never use them, get rid of them. Don't, give them for donation. Like, why you have them taking up valuable real estate, which is what we talk about all the time. It's all about the real estate. And in kitchens, most people don't have much real estate. So let's clear it up and just keep the things you need. So for me, I only have about 10 containers and 2 small ones for extra tomato paste, which is all I need it for. So, so you could do, why are you making a face? Like the canned tomato, you don't use the whole tin. So I put half of it into a little container to use it for another curry. Genius. Also, the other thing for me is I've got the same, I'm consistent with the brand. So I have all the glass containers from IKEA. So, and some of them are different sizes, but they're all the same. So you could stack them.
Yeah, they're meant to be stackable, right? The entire set.
Yeah. So you don't need to put you could do it that you could put the big, small, like together, and then the lid somewhere else. I don't, obviously, as I said, I put the whole set together, so the lid and the container. So try and do that. Make sure it's the same brand, so then it's easier for you to find and replenish if you need to. And then see how much space you have. If you want to use a fancy lid holder and container holder, which you can get from shops or from Amazon, and if you have the room in your cupboards, get it. But for me personally, I've seen them, people have bought them, and we've tried to use them. I find them a waste of space and a waste of time and a waste of money. You could buy free containers that you'll actually use rather than this holder thing. And for me, it's all about making it a simple process for use. And if you have maids and stuff, make it a simple process for them as well. I mean, can you be bothered to find a lid from a container every time? Can you?
No.
Exactly. So let's put them together. So that's my tip for today. There isn't much tips today.
I feel like you just made yourself like a reel.
Yeah.
There, like, can you find it? And then this is like, can you find it? Well, then put it together. Yeah. And I think that's your reel.
Yeah.
Like, that's how we're going to market this.
Actually, shall I get mine and show you? I should just show it.
No, I think you should just do this action. Like, it was great.
Okay, wait. I have a bit. Sorry. Okay, I don't even have to
Please make more noise.
Okay, fine. All right. Here, see? Can you see? See? Lid, container. It is from the shop I've just been mentioning a few too many times. One day they will sponsor me. And so I've got 2 sizes, see? This one and this one. And they're together. So whenever I need them, I just have to grab and
go.
Exactly. Genius. And then they're stacked together. Amazing. This is what I suggest. I don't suggest any other solution because, as I said, it's a waste of time, it's a waste of money, and it's a waste of valuable real estate. If you want to do that, you can do that. You can find it on social media, just not with me. Take care and see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.